the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to Championship Night for this Season 2 of the OP Racing Throwback Series here on Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching live from Homestead-Miami Speedway, the virtual edition of Homestead-Miami Speedway, as we bring you the season finale of the OP Racing Throwback Series. My name is Dawson Wise. Glad to be with you on a Thursday night. I know this is really rushed tonight. My apologies, some time commitments. Kind of made me almost late, but almost only counts in horseshoes. So we're going to count it nonetheless. We are here, and we're ready for some action. And I'll tell you, I hate that I've had to miss the last 2 weeks. We've had a great championship battle coming down to the final week now. We'll get into that in a little bit. I'll have to double-check the point standings. I believe that championship battle might be wrapped up. I don't want to say anything, though, until I'm able to confirm that. We will keep an eye on that throughout the course of the night, and we will brief you on that here as we get into tonight's race. We'll start with the starting grid tonight for the final race. It's a very small field here tonight for Championship Week, unfortunately, but nonetheless, we're going to finish this season off in style. On the pole, in the 12, the Busch Chevrolet tonight, familiar colors, and the man, spoiler alert, coming in as the points leader, who is one race away from potentially a championship in this series. Again, we'll double-check that in a second. He'll start on the pole. That is the 12 of Christian Strader. To his outside will be the 51. Tonight, the unsponsored machine of Travis Elliott. He'll start from the outside of row number 1. Row 2, another man who's had an incredible season. A brand new paint again on his car tonight. The 2 of Hunter Carlson. He'll start from 3rd. And Rusty Modesty, he'll start from the 4th position tonight in the 5. Row 3, pair of Elmores. Brian Elmore on the inside in the 39. Brent Elmore on the outside in the 31. Row 4, Cody Eldred in the 4 machine, and Matt Hayden in the 6, who's had an equally incredible season. We'll see what he can do tonight to finish his run off. And the last 2 cars in the field tonight, Bo Benham in the 64, and Isaiah Dupree in the 86. Another man who's had a great year. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's very rushed, and I hate that it had to be rushed, but for the final time in Season 2, the cars come off turn number 4 and into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We're racing for the OP Racing Throwback Series finale. Lap 1 of the books. Lap 2 goes on the board. Here as the field works its way onto the banking, the progressive banking here of turns 1 and 2. at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, and that's going to be a story of the night. Progressive banking. You're going to see guys try different lines, run up against the outside retaining wall, and try to work their way around this racetrack. We'll see how the dynamic track plays in as well. iRacing's newest update to try to update the way oval racing functions, and I'll tell you, look at Travis Elliott already. Works his way up the hill, trying to find some grip, find some speed up in the outside, up against the outside safer barrier, trying to find some gaps, and on the inside, it is Christian Strader, and now we will transition into what the championship points are looking like going into tonight's race. We'll give you an idea of exactly what we're looking at, or at least we'll try to. I give you the most updated picture possible as Strader is alongside the race leader here in 3 and 4. A nice battle underway here for the moment for the lead. Strader on the bottom against the white line. Travis Elliott in the Larson-Reddick line up against the safer barrier. Look at the run. He gets off the corner, and he'll fend off Strader for the lead for the moment. As I try to pull up the standings here, try to give you an idea of exactly what we're looking at here in terms of... So with no drops, the series does have drops. It is a 46-point lead for Christian Strader tonight. That is not going to be a gap that Matt Hayden can overcome in tonight's race with only 10 cars on the speedway. Just not a lot he can do. And I'm trying to figure out... There are a couple of drop weeks in this series. Strader again takes a look to the inside here for the race lead. So we'll see if we can find that throughout the course of tonight's race. And see if we can get a better idea of exactly how this series is going to pan out. So for our understanding, wow, big moment there for Travis Elliott. And Strader will drop to the inside, lap 6 on the board now. This race is going to go by quickly. Only 10 cars on track. Actually, only 9 on track as Isaiah Dupree failed to make the green flag tonight. So only 9 cars started tonight's race. And it's going to make this race go by awfully quickly. 134 laps will be here and gone before you know it. Still a very tight battle for the lead. Matt Hayden and Hunter Carlson, the two others we're watching tonight, are 4th and 5th. And again, we'll try to give you an idea of what the points actually look like. Again, 2 drop weeks for this series this season, so those are going to factor into our final points. We'll try to get an idea of what those points are looking like later on in the night as we get closer to the end of this race, crowning our 2nd champion in this series. Travis Elliott continues to work that top side. Strader's trying to find some speed on the bottom. He's found some, but not enough to get past that exit run that Travis Elliott gets running up close to the safer barrier. He's not quite in the Larson-Reddick line yet, where they'd be basically brushing the fence here on the exit of the corner. But he's certainly close. Matt Hayden and Hunter Carlson have stayed down along the white line on the bottom side of the racetrack. Travis Elliott, really from what it appears, is about the only car... I don't know, Rusty Modesty's moved up there now as well. Carlson and Matt Hayden starting to move up a little bit also, and now Cody Eldred has moved up against the wall as well. Travis Elliott starts to establish a bit of a lead as he continues to work that outside line against the safer barrier. That's going to be the dominant line once the tires go away. Now that will be the place to be. It will be up against the outside safer barrier. And he's working it so far. Strader, I think, is going to have to work up there, although Elliott gets awfully close to the fence that time. That time he looked more like Kyle Larson or Christopher Bell or Tyler Reddick ripping the fence. And again, he'll enter up high. Strader will enter on the bottom. And look at how close Travis Elliott's got the back end of that 51 to the outside retaining wall. About as close as you can get to that outside wall. Matt Hayden's moved up as well. That's going to be the battle for third. We'll take, or fourth, excuse me. We'll take you back there for a moment as this battle starts to materialize. Look at how high Matt Hayden's gotten now. He's up against the fence. Carlson continues to rip down on the bottom. Watch the difference in speed as they come down the front straightaway here. Carlson was 3 car lengths up in the middle of the corner. It's half a car length as they enter turns 1 and 2. And Hayden has found some speed up against the outside wall as compared to the 2 machine, the T2 tonight of Hunter Carlson. We'll continue to watch this battle for the 4th spot. Hayden now is going to transition down, actually diamond the corner, try to arc through the center, and follow the 2 up off the corner. Let's see if that helps him. He'll get right down to him, and now he'll look for the pass. This is for 4th. Matt Hayden on the inside of Hunter Carlson. He'll try to slide on him. This is how you pass at Homestead on the bottom. He's going to try to slide on the nose of Carlson by the time they come out of the corner. But Carlson drives off the top and holds the position for now. Side-by-side drag race. Hayden will have to cede that spot, drop back in line, and go back to the fence, try to figure out how to get around this T2 machine. New leader up front. Strader has driven around the 51 of Travis Elliott. He now leads by 4 car lengths as we put lap 13 of 134 on the board. So Strader over Elliott by 3.5 tenths. Matt Hayden has continued to drop some ground. He still remains 5th in behind Hunter Carlson as lap 14 is on the board now. And Strader has started to set sail and drive away as he works his way down the back straightaway. Modesty hanging tough there in 3rd, but can't get any closer to the leaders than he's gotten so far in the first 14 laps. Want to take moments throughout the night tonight, again, just to take time to commemorate this season. It's been a season, unfortunately, that I've had to miss a lot, and I really hate it because I love this series. I say it every time I come on the air. I love this series. I love what it's done for me to be able to diversify my product a little bit, to be able to get out of my element of super speedways that I've been in for the last year and get out here and watch these guys on 1.5 and short tracks and in these really hard to drive cars that are so fun to watch these guys wheel. And again, I've missed more than I've wanted to this season, and unfortunately that comes with life changes. A lot of life changes going on for me over the past few weeks. Finishing up my final semester of college, if I can be so candid here for a moment. Was able to graduate last week, and that's actually why I missed last Thursday's race. It's because it was at the same time as my college graduation. So, unfortunate that I had to miss, but I think it's a pretty worthy cause. But I really have enjoyed this series greatly for 2 seasons now. This season has been a barn burner. I mean, so many guys that have come into this league now, come into this series on Thursday nights and laid it all on the line. Christian Strader, Hunter Carlson, Rusty Modesty, Travis Elliott, all the guys in the field tonight, and along with so many others as well that aren't in the field tonight. Guys like Stoney Benfield that could not make tonight's race. Guys like Sebastian Marin that could not make tonight's race that came in here every now and then. Anthony English came in here every now and then. So did Vicente Guerrero. Guys like that, and I could go through and name off 100 guys. Jimmy Fitzmaurice, one of the guys that's been here since day one, and countless others. And again, I'll name them throughout the night. But really has been a fun season. Season 1 last season was fun, but this season's been, so much more fun. So many great battles. Trey Galgan as well. It'd be foolish of me not to mention Trey Galgan as well. Just guys that have come in and made a statement, and that's what this league was about, is guys making their names known and guys, getting on these tracks and these hard-to-drive cars and conquering them and kind of showing off for a couple hours and showing off the practice that they have. And it's been such a joy to watch throughout this season, and glad I could be here tonight to cap it off with all of you. Want to say how much I appreciate you guys for coming out every week and hanging with me and, helping me promote these guys. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to promote the guys on the track. I'm here to show you what makes them so good. And I've been very grateful to bring it to you. I'm grateful that you have decided to join me again for the final Thursday of this season. Season 3 is coming. Don't take this as a farewell. I'm not trying to be down in the dumps. There is a Season 3 in the works. Details still yet to be determined, but it is going to come after a bit of an off season, so keep it tuned in on Turn 3 Racing Network. Hit that little notification bell. We're going to be back on Thursdays very soon, back and better than ever. And this core group plans to return in Season 3. It's going to be a lot of fun. I certainly hope you'll join me. And we'll get to, again, more about that throughout the night as we go here. Already 20 laps down. This race is going to be here and gone before you know it. Again, with only about 9 cars on track, this race is going to speed along. So, pardon the lack of commentary. Not a lot happening. Actually, we'll go back here and look at the battle for 5th that's about to unfold between Hayden and Elmore, as they will duke it out here for a moment. Hayden, did he get the fence right there? He might have. Brian Elmore is through the center of the corner. Pretty good. Drives it up off, but Matt Hayden's going to hold the position for now. And so Hayden will drive back away by about 2 car lengths, and again, we'll go back up front. Plenty of great moments from this season to go back and look at. A photo finish in Daytona to start the year, involving some rookies. Battles at multiple tracks. I mean, last runs that were just incredible. Bristol comes to mind. Galgan and Schrader and Hayden and those guys battling for, what felt like forever, that last 40 laps. Richmond comes to mind. Sebastian Marin trying to drive back through the field. That comes to mind, and other races come to mind as well. Chicagoland, the strategy race that was Chicagoland earlier in the season, that race comes to mind as well. Just so many great races, so many fun stories throughout the season, and again, I'll try to recap as many of them tonight as I can as we get to the close of this season, bring this season to an end. We'll try to recap as many of those moments as we can from throughout the year. As Schrader, again, will work his way up off turn number 4, lap 24 on the board. And that means only 111 laps remain in season number 2 of the return of this series, I should say. Matt Hayden did drop the 5th spot to Brian Elmore. He's now back to 6th in front of Cody Eldred. We'll keep an eye on where those guys are throughout the course of the night. And speaking on the future of this series, and I'll do this again later, I'm sure, a lot of fun developments are coming to iRacing in the next few months. As we've now learned over the past couple weeks, the future of this car body. The Gen 4 was put in the game to be based on more or less, it was more or less based on just a generic interpretation of the Generation 4 car that was raced in NASCAR from essentially, 1999, 2000 to 2008. That's basically when they phased this car out for the car of tomorrow. It was longer than that if you want to think about it that way. But regardless, an update here in the past couple weeks. This car will be transitioning to get the 2003 to 2006 body style, from what we understand now, and it will get 2 different body styles, one for intermediates and one for super speedways. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, a little bit different body style, a little bit different aerodynamics going into that, a little bit different racing quality that'll go into that, and it's going to impact this series. So we'll have to wait and see. Exactly what iRacing implements in terms of that series. We'll have a ton of changes to go over next season as we open the season, hopefully, after we've got those car bodies already. But they are coming very soon. The 2003 era cars are making their debut on iRacing in place of this current model very soon. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Again, so much to dive into with the new car. How's it going to drive? How's it going to draft? How's it going to, how are you going to race side by side? How's it going to react to the track? What are the tires going to be like? So many fun questions that are yet to come in terms of the future of this car. So, again, another reason to stay tuned in, because this series is going to take another step forward once that car comes out. That's going to be a lot of fun, and hope you'll join me for it. Closing in already on 100 laps to go. I mean, it's how quickly this race is going to go. And so I do want to try to find a more accurate idea of the points. So I'll start to work on that here while these guys are under green. Pit stops underway. Travis Elliott, Rusty Modesty, Brian Elmore, and Matt Hayden have all brought their cars to pit road for the first round of what looks to be about 4 rounds of green flag pit stops. Will put us, just inside the window. So those are occurring now. Elliott, Modesty, Elmore, Hayden. Now Strader will cede the lead. Imagine we'd see his teammate Hunter Carlson follow suit. He will. Let's see if Cody Eldred follows those two as well. And the rest of the leaders, in fact, going to come to pit road. Oh, no. Hunter Carlson threw me a curveball. He's going to stay on the racetrack here for at least one more lap. Lead a lap, get a point. And again, as I go to try to find these updated points, this could matter. You do get a point for leading a lap, for the most laps, and for a clean race. So we'll keep an eye on those bonus points throughout the night as well. And as I was looking through the standings just a moment ago, I think, as Hunter Carlson makes his green flag pit stop, I think, from what I could find, so the biggest storyline coming in tonight was how would the 2 drop races affect the standings? That's what I was kind of looking at. Well, I'm not sure it's going to affect much at all. Because the only guy with 16 starts out of these top 3 in points that are still mathematically eligible is Matt Hayden. So he's going to be the only one that theoretically drops an actual race. Christian Strader, with only 14 starts, his 2 drop races will be races that he missed. So I imagine once we factor in drops, that his lead would be even bigger. We'll double check that because I could be completely wrong, and I don't want to be completely wrong. So we'll try to find an answer for you on that as the race goes on, but that was my idea, is that I don't think that those drops are going to factor in quite as much as we all thought they would. So, and even with only nine cars in the field, really you can only gain about 12 to 15 points. So really, if it's any further than that, we're not looking at a championship battle. We're looking at a done deal. So green flag pit stops complete. Matt Hayden has jumped all the way to 4th as a result of this first round of pit stops. Strader continues to lead, and really, if the race finishes as it is, I don't think it's going to matter anyway. I think Strader is going to be the points leader regardless of drops. And if that's the case, if he wins, obviously no change in the standings going to happen if he goes to victory lane in tonight's race. So as long as he's able to tough out the next 100 laps, he should be going home tonight. The OP Racing Throwback Series champion. And it's a well-deserved championship if that is the case. It's a well-deserved championship for any of the 4 guys that were really involved. The 3 guys mathematically qualified, and all 3 have had very different seasons. And throughout the night, again, we'll try to recap, what kind of seasons these were for these guys. But so starkly different. It's a testament to this kind of point system. And this is a point system we don't see a lot anymore, is that we got a battle for second about to unfold. So we'll go back here to that. So table my discussion of points for a moment. We got a battle for second on the Speedway. Modesty goes bottom, and Elliott slams the door. Rusty Modesty seems to have the better drive off. Travis Elliott, oh man, both these guys are slideways here off the corner. A car lane separating these two. Let's see where Modesty goes. A game of chicken here into turn number 1. They both go back to the bottom. Oh, Travis Elliott slipped. Modesty going to try to capitalize. He's going to keep it right up in the tire track. Let's see if he tries a different lane. Going to go right back to the bottom of the racetrack. Almost got some contact. May have made some contact there with the back end of the 51. Now Travis Elliott transitions back up to the top side of the racetrack. Oh, man, almost slid it into the outside wall. But he transitions back up and will start to drive away. So what I was getting at is with this kind of point system, it's so interesting to me to see, different ways you can get to this point in the season, different ways you can get to contending for a championship. So, for example, Christian Strader has been up front basically every week, has been in contention for wins basically every week, and has won multiple races. And as such, he's in contention for a championship. Hunter Carlson got his first win 3 weeks ago in Martinsville, and yet has been in the points lead or close to the points lead the entire year. Playing a more Matt Kenseth / Ryan Newman style, or Matt Crafton, style of season where you don't have to win races. You just have to keep the car up front, keep it clean, and you can be in contention for a championship. And that's how, Hunter Carlson has gotten here. Matt Hayden is kind of the mix of both. He's won in this series this year, but he's also done enough keeping the car clean, keeping it consistent to be in contention for a championship tonight. It's so interesting to see the many different ways, the many different paths, different kinds of seasons you can have and still end up in contention for a championship when we get to championship night at the end of the year. So it's so interesting. It's been so interesting to follow all three of these guys because all three, it feels like have been names that are at the front of the field every week. It's just, in this case, Strader has been the guy taking more of the victories while the other two have just kept it consistent and been able to keep the gap, pretty close. So a very interesting season, a fun season. And one that comes to an end in 93 laps from right now. And I can now definitively tell you, after reading a column that I apparently did not see the first time, that the points leader, even with drop weeks, is still Christian Strader, and it's by 46 points. As long as he is able to finish tonight's race in one piece, and really even if he doesn't, the start tonight should all but lock up a championship for the driver of the 12, and he's looking to put it away in dominant fashion. And he's 92 laps away. And not really any battles on the speedway right now. Rusty Modesty has gone by Travis Elliott. That is for second. As Matt Hayden is still fourth, but he's dropped a lot of time. He's about 4.5 seconds here behind Travis Elliott in this top three group. But it is Strader that continues to lead. Round two of pit stops coming up here in the next 12 laps or so is when we expect to see the leader, Christian Strader, for his second of what should be 4 green flag stops. That'll be about lap 56. And we're going to use some time tonight again with no real battles on the speedway. Might have one brewing here for 5th. We'll take a quick look at it. As Brian Elmore tries to defend that spot from Hunter Carlson, he's driving away again. But, as this race goes on, I want to use some time tonight to talk about the guys that either are not on track or are here but not in the championship battle. We'll talk about the championship contenders later on in the night, talk about their seasons a little bit more in depth. Isaiah Dupree, hate that he missed the race tonight, a guy that's been here since day one, and a guy that has provided us action since season one. You remember the battles he shared with Tyler Bentley in season one. He shared those battles with Strader, Hayden, Carlson, Galgan, and others here in season two. Isaiah Dupree will likely finish the point standings a little bit lower than he'd like, probably down around the 6th, 7th, 8th position, but still a very good season for him. Nonetheless, a second straight good season for him. Unfortunately, not able to make tonight's grid. Have enjoyed watching him this season. Hope to see him back here in season 3. Cody Eldred is on track, and this is a guy that has kind of been overshadowed, and I hate to say that, but it is the truth. With the championship battle kind of raging on through the last several weeks, it's kind of overshadowed that Cody Eldred's had a very, very good season. He's been constantly inside the top 3, top 5. He's gotten a few podium finishes this season. He's run very well week in, week out. And just has kind of silently had a very consistent season. So Cody Eldred will likely finish this season in the 4th position in points, as he sits 5th coming into tonight, only about 17 points behind Isaiah Dupree. We'll see what he gets from tonight's race. Chris Weaver's not here tonight, a guy who, again, another one that's had good runs, just kind of been overshadowed by our championship battle. As he will take home likely the, I believe, 8th or 9th position. Actually, may stand pat pretty much 6th or 7th. Chris Weaver, a rookie this season, has had good moments in the 88 machine and has had very good runs at points in this season, as well as up the level of competition in this series. Jordan Anderson, another rookie this season. He started his career with a bang. He started with a podium in Daytona. And was consistently in the conversation. Chris Weaver, also a winner this season. I should point that out. Well, I'm really shorting him a little bit by not pointing that out. He was a winner this season in the series. So Chris Weaver is a Throwback Series winner. 9 top 10s, 2 top 5s for Weaver. For Eldred, no wins, but 7 top 5s and 13 top 10s. For Dupree, 2 wins, 8 top 5s, 11 top 10s in his season. Anderson, no wins, 2 top 5s and 9 top 10s for him. Bo Benham is on track tonight. He's already a couple of laps down, but he will likely finish this season about the 8th position in points. No wins, 1 top 5, 8 top 10s. The guy that's been here since day one, our inaugural race winner from this series. He won Daytona last season, so he is a winner in this series as well. A guy who's had good moments at times this season. He will likely finish somewhere around the 8th position in points. Brian Elmore is here as well. He'll finish 9th in points. He'll end this season. No wins, 2 top 5s, 9 top 10s. As he will likely finish this season in the 9th position in points. Jimmy Fitzmaurice in 10th, a guy that has had speed at several places, had some bad luck throughout this season. But did love seeing him out here. The very distinct Code Red machine and the black and green car he debuted about halfway through this season. No wins this season, but 2 top 5s and 4 top. Good season for him as well. A guy that you just love to watch race. He was getting after it a few times this season, as I remember. Notably, Pocono. I believe it was Pocono. When he kind of came out of nowhere and ended up 3rd at one point in the last run and completely surprised me. It's one of my favorite moments from this season. Davey Weaver, another rookie, along with Chris Weaver. No wins, no top 5s, 2 top 10s for him. A guy that the bad luck bug struck a lot this season. Really unfortunate because, he had good qualifying runs, had good runs early in the race. The bad luck bug would strike either on pit road or on track. He'd get caught up in things that were just not of his doing. The bad luck bug caught up to him, but certainly he's put some performances out there to build on going forward. Trey Galgan did not make the amount of starts that he likely would have wanted to. I know he came in a little bit late, missed a few races likely would have been a championship contender had he made a few more starts. In his 9 starts, this is probably the most absurd stat line this season, 9 starts, 4 wins, and that was his 4 top 5s, and a total of 6 top 10 finishes for him. So a really incredible season for him. Again, if he had made a few more races, we'd probably be talking about him as a championship contender. If he comes back next season, likely one of the favorites to win the championship in this series. He'll finish down towards the 12th position in points. Rusty Modesty is 13th in points. Coming in tonight, another guy that started mid-season. No wins, but 5 top 5s and 7 top 10s in 9 starts. A very efficient season for Rusty Modesty, and he's going to add likely his 6 top 5 and 8 top 10 to that list in this race if this continues on. Travis Elliott is on pit road for the second round of green flag pit stops. So is Brian Elmore. But Rusty Modesty has taken the series by storm at times this season, and if he comes back, another guy that's going to be in the conversation for the championship contenders come next season. And really, if you want to put it this way, we have about 6, 7, 8 guys that if they all come back, I mean, we could be looking at about an 8-man championship contention, if you want to think about it that way, at least in terms of championship favorites coming into season number 3. Because you obviously have your top 3 now: Schrader, Hayden Carlson, Isaiah Dupree. I would put into that group. I would put, and then I would put, looking down the list here, Trey Galgan, Rusty Modesty, Stoney Benfield. You can put Travis Elliott in that group as well. Isaiah Dupree is in that group. So, I mean, there's your 8 right there. So, I mean, you could be looking at a very stacked top of the field next season. Really could be a fun championship battle if all these guys return to the series in Season 3. Brent Elmore, he'll be 14th in points, 10 starts this season. No wins, but a top 5 and 5 top 10s for the driver of the 31. He'll tack on another one of those top 10s. He's currently in the 5th position on the Speedway, so he might very well tack on another top 5 to that run this season as well. So could end the season 2 top 5, 6 top 10s, which is a very good season for the driver of the 31. Strader's on pit road. The race leader is headed to his pit box. Rusty Modesty came by last time. Hayden Elmore, Brian Elmore, and Bo Benham also on pit road already in this cycle. Looking down further, Stoney Benfield, the faster pastor. He'll end the season 15th. 9 starts this season, 2 top 5s, and 6 top 10s for the driver of the 75, and a guy that has speed every week at every type of racetrack. No matter where we go, he's always fast. He showed a lot of speed at Richmond and Martinsville and Bristol. The short track prowess of the 75, as he was able to get several good runs throughout the season, again tacking on those 2 top 5s and 6 top 10s and only 9 starts, and an efficiently good season for him as well. He'll finish down around the 15th position or so in the point standings. Adam Green in 16th. 1 top 5, 4 top 10s for the driver of the 777. Good season for him as well. He showed a lot of speed at times in this season. Multiple different tracks, primarily the bigger ovals, the 1.5s. Was able to run well inside the top 10 at times. So a good season for him as well. Travis Elliott, 9 starts this season, a top 5, 3 top 10s likely to add to both those numbers tonight. A guy that does not come around every week, and he tells us that every time I talk to him, but when he does, he's sure to be fast, sure to be running up front, sure to have the strategy locked down. He does again tonight. He's well in position for a top 5, top 3 finish, potentially to end off his season. Alex Green, the boss man, 18th in points, 3 top 10s on the season for the boss. I know he couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately, but we definitely appreciate all he does for the league in allowing us to run. I mean, this was his brainchild to bring back, and he got me on board to bring the action to you. And man, what a great product this has been. This season took a leap forward in terms of the product, and really could not have asked for a better season in terms of the action we got throughout this year. So, Alex, a Talladega winner from last season, a guy that's done so much for OP, but so much for this series in particular as well. And a guy that we certainly appreciate all his contributions. Hunter Carlson will cede the lead. He'll be the last car to pit on the second cycle of green flag pit stops in tonight's race. That's most of our regulars. Eric Kosciolek had a good year at times this season. I know he didn't start as many races as he would have liked. 8 starts, 1 top 5, 4 top 10s. A guy that ran up front a lot and, again, got bit by the bad luck bug. Andrew Milletta, Gary Falco, Chris Confer, all new entries throughout the season. They're not in the field tonight, all 8 or less starts. They really never got their feet under them in this series, so we'd love to see them come back and fight it out starting in next season's events. For Milletta, 8 starts this season. He'll finish down around the top 20 in points. Gary Falco, a top 10. So we'd love to see those guys back. Austin Collins is a guy we saw for only 3 races this season. It was Dover, Darlington, and there was one other race that he was at. And all 3 he was very fast. And at Dover was the race I thought he might win the race, shutting the car off late in the race on pit strategy. It did not come to be, but still 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s in his 3 starts. Very good season for him. Anthony English came in a few times throughout the season, our Daytona winner. Also tacked on 2 other top 5s throughout the course of his 3 starts this season. Richard Sanchez, another guy that came over from our Super Speedway Series, a top 10 in this season as well. Vicente Guerrero made a few starts as well. Dylan Pearson, a top 10 this season. Car on the wall. Travis Elliott, I believe, caught the outside retaining wall. Hunter Reynolds, a top 5 in one of his 2 starts. Adam Roberson, a second-place finish in Daytona, to tack on to 1 additional top 10. Sebastian Marin, our Richmond winner. So just a lot of great storylines from throughout the season. As we get later in this race, we'll kind of spotlight our 3 championship drivers. To the halfway mark we go at Homestead, and Christian Schrader, it's smooth sailing. It's a Sunday drive for the driver of the 12. What a season it's been for him. A season filled with ups and downs. We'll get into his season, I'm sure, a little bit later on. But a season filled with ups and downs is going to end in the biggest up he can think of, and it's going to be heading to OP Racing Throwback Series Championship Victory Lane. I mean, a way to cap off the season. Tyler Bentley did it last season, if you'll remember. He was able to cap off his season with a victory in Pocono. Schrader looking to become the 2nd straight champion to win the season-ending race. Tonight, that being Homestead-Miami Speedway. And he is on a blistering pace right now. Change for second behind them. Rusty Modesty races down the backstretch and is going to be side-by-side with Travis Elliott for the 2nd spot. Elliott stole it on pit stops. Modesty's going to get it back on the racetrack as he utilizes that outside line to his advantage. He'll come up off turn 4. Travis Elliott got a pretty good drive off the bottom, though. They will drag race to the line. Modesty by half a car length. And Elliott, will he tuck back in the line? No, he will continue to contest. Drive all the way to the bottom. Modesty up to the safer barrier. Elliott drifts up a little bit. Going to still be alongside. Great battle here for second. Don't look now, though. Matt Hayden started to close things up a little bit to these guys. See if he can continue to do so. Modesty on by for second. And now he drives away by 5 car lengths. 70 laps complete, 65 to go in Season 2 of the OP Racing Throwback Series. A programming note for after this race. Head over to PGR Esports, where there will be coverage of the PGR Esports Coasting Thunder 60 tonight from Talladega Super Speedway. I believe from Talladega, it might be from Daytona. In the Xfinity Series cars. The Thursday Night Intimidator Super Speedway Series kicks off another stop. Expecting a big field, a lot of bonuses in that race as well, so go check that one out. It's going to be a good night of racing there. In terms of OP programming, this is going to be all for us for a while. All 3 Super Speedway Series on their off-season break. This series is about to enter that break as well. So they will enter a brief offseason. I'm not sure how long the offseason will be for this series. For the other series, imagine it will be about a month before those series are back underway. I know some changes, some rule changes getting underway with that series. With those series, so going to hash things out and continue to look forward to the future of those 3 series. Schrader puts Eldred a lap down as Matt Hayden begins to run down Travis Elliott. So Matt Hayden trying to run down his final podium finish of the season. As Schrader has opened up a 5.5-second lead on the remainder of the field, with likely 2 pit stops still remaining. And the last one of which will be with about 20 laps to go. So we expect him on about lap 90, and then we expect him again on about lap 115, somewhere in that range. As we approach the final 2 pit stops of the season. I know it's going to be anticlimactic, but again, with this point system and a small field, what can you expect? That's about how you expect this race to go. So again, under 60 laps to go here in Season 2 of the Throwback Series, and we'll now start to transition to talking about our championship drivers here in a few moments. Try to give them a little bit more spotlight as we kind of get into the closing stages of this race and of the season. I know we'll get to talk to at least 2 of them if things pan out as they are right now. I believe Travis Elliott has called it a night here on lap 78, so likely will take his car to the garage. So appears we might get to talk to 2 of our championship contenders when the end of this race. But I do want to start to kind of spotlight, what those guys have been able to do, because I think they deserve to have this kind of spotlight. And we'll start with Hunter Carlson, the man who likely will finish 3rd in the point standings tonight. And from the start of the season, it kind of looked like he was going to be, meaning business. A 3rd place finish in the Daytona race to open the year. He followed that up with a 15th place effort a couple laps down in Chicagoland off the strategy. At New Hampshire, a 2nd place finish. At Pocono, he followed that one up with a 7th place effort. And that's kind of when it seemed like he was going to really be in contention for the championship and just keep the car clean. A 3rd place finish in Indianapolis was one of his first podiums of the season, 2nd podium finish of the season. Then a 4th place effort at Watkins Glen. followed by another podium effort, a third-place effort at the Michigan International Speedway. And then a 10th place run at Bristol that saw him up front multiple times in that race. A third place at Darlington. Our second trip to the Lady in Black over the course of the last 2 seasons. Then a 7th place effort at Richmond. Then kind of had a setback. A 17th place effort at Dover is kind of what opened up the championship battle. Looked like it was going to be his to lose. Came back with a 3rd place effort at Kansas. Followed that up. He did not race at Charlotte. He missed the Charlotte event. Then the breakthrough came in Martinsville for Hunter Carlson. Actually get him on the screen here for a moment. The breakthrough came at Martinsville. So again, 3rd place finish here, a 4th place finish there, a 2nd place finish at Watkins Glen, a 7th place finish here. He'd had the success, the consistency. He's had that since he broke into this league last season in the middle of the year. We knew that already. The breakthrough was going to be getting to victory lane. Could he break through? Could he get the first one off his back and get to victory lane? 3 weeks ago in Martinsville, he made the right strategy call by staying out late in the race and getting on a different cycle, and was able to hold his track position, drive away, and cash in on his first OP Racing Throwback Series victory with 3 races to go in the season. He cashed in to win his first race in this series, and it saved his season. It got him back in the championship battle. Again, missing Charlotte, the 17th place finish at Dover had kind of derailed his season. And the Martinsville win saved his season and kept him in contention at least for another week. An incredible strategy call to watch. He was very happy about the win at Martinsville a few weeks ago. He followed that up with a 5th place effort at Talladega. And then last week at Phoenix, came home with a 7th place effort in that race. So it's been a very good season for Hunter Carlson. All in all things considered, when you look at his results from this season, he'll end the season, if he finishes where he is now, in a total of really 16 starts. He'll end with a total of 10 top 5s and 14 top 10s. That is about as good as it gets for Hunter Carlson. There's going to be nothing to hang his head on at the end of this season because it's been an incredible one. Matt Hayden, by the way, is on pit road for his 3rd green flag pit stop. Nothing to hang your head on if you're Hunter Carlson in the 2. It really has been an incredible season. We'll pause there because we have pit stops underway again. Rusty Modesty, Bo Benham also on pit road this time by. See Hayden leaves the pits. Modesty is coming down to his pit box. And we'll go back to the leader, Christian Schrader. See if he brings it to pit road this time. Nope, he'll stay out on the speedway. 2 pit stops remain and only 48 laps remain in the season. See when Schrader decides to bring his machine down pit road. Appears he's going to do it this time by... Yes, he will. Brings it down pit road for another stop. Hunter Carlson may inherit the lead. Let's see if he also comes to pit road this time on lap 87. Make it 88. No, he will stay out on the speedway, so he may inherit the lead again here. So he'll inherit the lead for a moment. He'll have to cede it to come to pit road at any moment here. He'll stay out again, though, and continue to lead the race. The last car remaining to come on pit road, Brian and Brent Elmore have also been to pit road as well. Cody Eldred actually is also still out on the racetrack, so he'll stay out for a moment. And once Carlson and Eldred cede their positions to come back to pit road, we'll get back into our championship driver spotlight. Christian Strader's driven back past Cody Eldred. It's really stretching this run. Strader's gone back around him. And Carlson continues to lead the way. So he'll stay out front. Lap 91 on the board. That means 44 laps to go in our season finale. There you see it is Carlson and Eldred. I wanted to double check. And that have yet to be to pit road, and it was just those two cars. So we'll wait those two to pit. And we'll only have one pit stop remaining, and man, this race is flying by in the final race of the season. And Carlson's coming to pit road. Oh, I thought he was. He deked me out. Now Carlson will bring it off the speedway. Eldred did last time by. The last two cars to come onto pit road have done so here in this second to last green flag pit cycle. That'll hand the lead back over to Christian Strader, and we'll continue with our championship driver spotlight with the man who will finish second in the point standings, and that is the 6 of Matt Hayden. You see him here, the Viagra colors aboard the 6 tonight. Started the season off in Daytona with a 21st place finish after starting 5th. And certainly was not the start of the season he wanted, but then he proceeded to rip off an intense stretch of races. He would finish 4th at Chicagoland in race 2, then win the 3rd race at New Hampshire for his first win of the season. Then he would go to a 3rd in Pocono and a 2nd at Indianapolis. 4 straight top 4 finishes that saw his average running position of 6th or better in all 4 of those events. He ran an average of 6th at Chicagoland, an average of 1st at New Hampshire, an average running position of 2.7 at Pocono, and 4.8 at Indianapolis, en route to 4 straight top 4 finishes to get his season back on track after the early stumble. Then he would stumble again at Watkins Glen, started 2nd, finished 13th in a race that he ran an average running position of 3.5. But then he got back on track. He finished 5th in Michigan, and then 4th at Bristol. He was part of that incredible last 40-lap run at Bristol that saw guys trade the lead for the most of the last 40 laps before Trey Galgan won the race. He finished 9th at Darlington, and then 4th again at Richmond before a 3rd at Dover had him seriously inside the championship picture with just a few races to go. A setback at Kansas, a 19th place finish, dropped him out, but then again now he has ripped off another streak of incredible finishes. 2nd at Charlotte, 4th at Martinsville, 6th at Talladega, and 3rd at Phoenix last week. And now that has him close. Unfortunately, no cigar for Matt Hayden. But what an incredible season it's been. The win at New Hampshire, he dominated that race en route to his first win. You know, you remember some of these other races. Pocono, very good at Pocono. Came on strong late in that race. Came on strong late at Bristol. Came on strong late at Richmond. And at Dover as well. En route to what has become a very, very reputable season for the man driving the 6. And I know it's not going to be the result he wants. Second is never what anybody wants, right? But just like I said about Isaiah Dupree earlier and about Hunter Carlson as well, absolutely nothing to hang his hat on. A very successful season that's going to see his average running position, I mean, well inside, well inside of about 5th or 6th for the entire year. So consistency, keeping the car clean. And so it has truly been an incredible one for Matt Hayden. And he currently now has started to... They've started to gap these 4th place cars. We're going to get a chance to hopefully talk to him after the race because he now runs 2nd. Now Rusty Modesty has started to run him down. But Matt Hayden has certainly recovered in this race. He runs 2nd now and looks to add another top 3 to his already stacked resume from this season. I hope to see him back in season number 3. A guy who's been here since the start. You know, like Bo Benham, like Cody Eltrid, like Travis Elliott, like Isaiah Dupree. Guys that have been here from the very start of the return of this series. Matt Hayden is one of them who's been here since the beginning. As he looks to finish this season with a bang. And that leads us to the man leading the race. And the man leading the points. And with 31 laps to go next time by, he can almost smell it now. And almost taste it. The championship is in his grasp. He can all but put it away, but you do still have to race these last 30 laps, and I know they're going to feel eternal for the man leading the race, but such is racing, and that these last few laps are so nerve-wracking. It's been nothing short of very sparkly season, sparkling record for Christian Strader this season. One of the most consistent drivers in the field, and he's shown that throughout the season. His only finish worse than 6th, he's only finished worse than 9th, was an 18th place finish at Dover. Every other race he has been at this entire season, he's finished 9th or better. 9th being his Talladega finish from a couple of weeks ago. Besides that, his lowest finish was 6th. He finished 6th or higher in 12 of the 14 races that he started this season. And that stat speaks for itself. We'll go through his season briefly. A 2nd place finish at Chicagoland. He did not run Daytona, but was able to run Chicagoland, started 2nd and finished 2nd. He finished 5th at New Hampshire. He then won Pocono from the pole in a race that he could have won in Season 1. If you'll remember back the day Tyler Bentley won the championship, Christian Strader could have won that race, but pit road penalties kept him from winning that event. He made sure that did not bite him in this season, and he won that event. He followed it up with a 6th in Indianapolis, then a win at Watkins Glen, a 4th place in the Michigan International Speedway, a 6th at Bristol, which really the 6th at Bristol doesn't do justice to how he ran in that race. Was up front a lot of the night, was involved in that last 40-lap battle and faded late in the race. And that's kind of what kept him from winning that race that night. But a 6th nonetheless. Then he went and won Darlington from the pole in dominant fashion. Finished 5th at Richmond. Then was at 18th place at Dover again. When he and Hunter Carlson both finished in 17th and 18th, it kind of opened the championship picture back up to Matt Hayden, who had a decent run at or at Dover, excuse me. So it kind of reopened that championship battle. But then he made sure the door was slammed back shut. A 2nd at Kansas, a win at Charlotte a few weeks back. He then missed Martinsville. We'll get into that in a little bit. Then followed up with a 9th at Talladega and a 2nd last week at Phoenix. And has found himself with a 46-point lead over the remainder of the field, with just now 26 laps to go. On the field, laps back by the start-finish line. Plenty of gap with a 10-car field to be able to cruise his way to his first ever OP Racing Championship. Final round of green flag pit stops of the season is underway on lap 109 as Rusty Modesty becomes the first car to hit pit road in this, the final round of green flag pit stops. We'll await Christian Strader. Matt Hayden is now on pit road as well. We'll await the leader, Christian Strader, for his final green flag pit stop as he looks to finish off what has been an almost flawless effort from him tonight. And yes, Christian, because I know you're going to come watch the race back, yes, I noticed the paint scheme. And for those that may not have noticed his paint scheme, on the hood there as he comes by, you can really see it. It does say congratulations to me in reference to my graduation, which, number one, I don't know if I mentioned that before, so I'm not sure how you found that out. But if I did mention it, then, well, forget I said anything, but I'm sure I did at some point, either in passing or here during a race. But regardless, I do appreciate it. It does mean a lot. It was a nice gesture, and I definitely appreciate the love. Hunter Carlson's on pit road. He's going to early pit this time. Brian Elmore, Bo Benham as well. So the only cars on track that have not pitted are Schrader and Brent Elmore. The final two to pit on this, the last cycle of green flag stops. Yes, Christian, I know you're going to come watch the broadcast back. Yes, I noticed, and I really do appreciate it. It does mean a lot. We'll see if he cedes his lead here to come to pit road for what could be his final round of stops. He will come to pit road. He's a pit stop away from the final run of the race, his final run for glory here on Thursday nights, and we'll watch him all the way down pit road. So he will come off pit road and get back on the speedway. Brent Elmore, we imagine, would pit right here. He's going to stay on the racetrack, so he's going to inherit the lead here for a moment. Brent Elmore will lead laps here today at Homestead. Good ending of the season for him that it's going to be. Actually will not inherit the lead. Schrader able to stay in front of him. Elmore will bring it to the apron and complete the final round of green flag pit stops. 21 laps remain in season number 2. As Christian Schrader re-inherits the lead after the pit stops. Modesty and Hayden in his rear view. Probably not going to be close enough to get much done. So Strader, Modesty, Hayden, Carlson, Eldred will be your top 5 after this round of pit stops. And we're now inside of 20 laps to go. And again, I said it earlier, if you weren't with us, though, thank you so much for coming out here and spending Thursdays with me. I know, again, I had to miss a lot more than I wanted to, and my apologies again for that. For what turned out to be a really fun season, a really enjoyable season of racing. I definitely appreciate all of you for coming out and joining me and letting me ramble to you about racing for a few minutes every Thursday. So again, thank you so much. Hope you'll rejoin me next season for Season 3. And again, Season 3 will be coming. There will be a Season 3 of the OP Racing Throwback Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And again, so many changes coming to this car in the coming days. Some changes coming to the oval racing side in the coming weeks as well. New horizons await in Season number 3. I cannot wait to see what the upcoming season has in store for us. Strader's moved all the way up. He's up against the outside wall now in both sides of the speedway, and really the first time tonight he's kind of gone up the hill and tried this side of the racetrack, but he's doing it here late in the race with just 15 laps remaining here from Homestead. You can all but taste it now. The final about 22, 24 miles here from Homestead of this season as we wrap up this season in style. Cody Eldred goes a lap down. As Strader has put some more time on the leaders behind him. Now there is a battle starting to cook here between these two for potentially the second spot. I don't want to take any spotlight off Christian Strader's championship run, but Matt Hayden has run down Rusty Modesty and is looking to put it to him here late in the race and try to go for a second place finish. Oh, Modesty gets the outside wall in a big way, and Hayden goes on by. Modesty slips. Hayden takes advantage and now drives back in front of Modesty. Again, he'll go to second. So Matt Hayden looking to finish off his season with a bang. We'll see if he can hold off Rusty Modesty as the race nears its conclusion. We'll take it through a quick full field rundown with 12 to go as we approach the end stages of this race. Strader leads, Hayden second, Modesty third. Hunter Carlson just in front of the leader. He is fourth. Brian Elmore is fifth, just in front of the leader as well. And Brent Elmore, a lap down, he is in sixth. And it's Cody Eldred who just went a lap down. He is 7th. Or excuse me, he just went 2 laps down. He is 7th. Bo Benham is back here in 8th, 3 laps down, and then 2 cars out of the race. Travis Elliott in 9th, and Isaiah Dupree did not make the grid. As Schrader comes off turn 4 and down to the start-finish line. Next time by, that ticker up top will tick down to single digits. 10 laps to go from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. The final 15 miles of this season, the final 15 miles of a championship run for the driver of the 12. Up off of turn number 4 and down, and now it will tick over to single digits. And for Christian Schrader, I know that in this type of race, when it's not a super speedway, you kind of start to feel all this stuff, you know, a little bit at a time. It kind of starts to creep on you. You start to realize there's not going to be a late race caution. There's not going to be a late race mistake. Nothing's going to happen that's going to take this away from me. He could basically cruise from here with about a 9-second lead. While the finish to this race in particular, may be anticlimactic, this has not been an anticlimactic season. As Brian Elmore here will go a lap down in just a moment. This has not been an anticlimactic season. So many races came down to fuel strategy or late race runs, and just really fun, exciting racing throughout this entire season. So many twists and turns, new winners, late race cautions, late race wrecks, strategy calls. You could not have asked for a lot more action in this one to end what has been a truly fantastic season, and one that I'll remember for a long time. Another guy I know is going to remember this one for a long time. It's going to be the guy leading the race. I know several of these guys will remember this season for a long time, but I definitely will as well. It's been so much fun sharing the airwaves with you all, sharing the moment with these guys has been incredible. I'm grateful. And I hope you all have enjoyed as much as I have. I've looked forward to Thursday for many weeks. Looking forward to this race in particular because it's been so much fun to get to call these races, see what twists and turns you get that night, and just to get to see these guys work and to get to know these guys and see them race each other. It's been incredible. All of these guys are so great at what they do. And they put on countless memorable moments from this season that we will look back on going forward and we will remember for a long time. So thank you to you all for coming out. Thank you to the drivers for putting on a show. More than 30 guys entered this season with the hope of being the one that remained when the checkered flag flew and the sparks settled, to be the final man left, to be the man that hoisted the bigger trophy at the end of the year, if you will. There's more than 30 that showed up in Daytona with the hopes of getting to that point. As the season wore on, we quickly became aware that it was going to be down to about 4. And as we got into the closing stages, it really became obvious that we were down to just a few drivers contending for that championship. Isaiah Dupree, Hunter Carlson, Matt Hayden, and Christian Strader have shared an incredible championship battle, a topsy-turvy battle that has seen different guys go to the front at different times, have different clutch moments and different big moments. Dover, Darlington, Pocono all come to mind. But only one man can stand on top, and that man is 1 lap away. White flag, 1 lap to go from Homestead. Only one man can call themselves champion. And now only 2 will be able to call themselves a champion in this series. Tyler Bentley dominated last season. And the man who should have won the season finale is going to cash in and get revenge in the biggest way. A near spotless effort. A near flawless season. A multi-win effort in the only way he knows how. He's going to win it in dominant fashion. Christian Strader is an OP Racing Throwback Series champion. He wins tonight in Homestead and secures his first ever OP championship. A man who has aspirations to race in OP on other nights of the week. This is quite a statement to the powers that be that he's ready to make that jump. He'll burn it down on the front stretch as the OP Throwback Series champ. Christian Strader wins the championship in Homestead. We're going to get some dueling burnouts here. As I thought we were, but now. We'll allow him some time to celebrate. Obviously a major achievement tonight. And he will park it. And that will do it. From Homestead-Miami. I get a moment that he come off turn 4 and won the race. I want to put that up for you. As we prepare for our final run of post-race interviews on the season. Well, not a really great angle, so I guess we'll just go with that one. Unfortunately, Homestead not providing us a great cinematic angle there at the finish, but this one will be just fine. We'll go through your race results, then we'll get to talk to at least your top 3, maybe your top 4. To get to talk to all of the guys in the championship fight. We'll go through your finishing results first. Christian Strader wins the race in the championship tonight at Homestead by 10 seconds over Matt Hayden, who finishes in second. Rusty Modesty, another great run for him. He adds another top 5 to his incredible season. And Hunter Carlson brings home his season with a 4th place effort. Brian Elmore finishes in 5th. Brent Elmore in 6th. Cody Eldred in 7th. Bo Benham 8th. Travis Elliott 9th. And Isaiah Dupree was credited tonight with 10th. Unable to make tonight's grid. We're going to go grab top 3, maybe your top 4, or some post-race interviews. We'll be right back on Turn 3 Racing Network. Stay with us. You'll get to hear from your top 3 of tonight's race, potentially Hunter Carlson, your 4th place finisher and 2nd in the championship, or 3rd in the championship, excuse me. as well as your champion, Christian Schrader. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Back live at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Welcome into the post-race show following tonight's championship event from Homestead-Miami Speedway. As Christian Schrader comes away with the victory, we'll start first with the man who finished in the third position, the man who took the league by storm this season and adds another top 5 to his resume, and that is Rusty Modesty in the 5. Hey, Rusty, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dawson.
Well, it was a quick one tonight. Obviously, a bit of a small field. Kind of made this race more about strategy than anything. And you tick off another top 5. And I'll tell you, in a series where you kind of join in the middle of the season, you tack on, I believe, it's 5 top 5s, maybe 6, if I'm remembering correctly. Take a second. First off, reflect on not only your night tonight, but your season as a whole, your first here in the Throwback Series.
Well, I mean, these cars have been really fun. There's no doubt they take patience and obviously we've had some races, some short tracks with a lot of cautions, but majority of these mile-and-a-half plus style courses have really been caution free. So it's all been kind of just watch the tires, fuel economy, trying to save and maintain as much fuel as you can. So. Just like tonight, most of these races have come down to just patience and strategy, as you said. Today was kind of a crapshoot. It was I was outwheeled by Matt and Christian both today. They were both way faster than I was. Matt had some trouble there at the beginning, and his qualifying as well, and got kind of pushed to the back on the start, which compounded some time for him during the race. But I knew it was inevitable he would get around. I tried my darndest to catch Christian. I don't think I had what it took in the tank. He was on rails tonight, and also shout out to him for the championship. It's been fun competing with these guys and just throwing the monkey wrench in, and just happy they invited me in.
Well, it's been a fun season to watch. Well, look, I got to ask again, not a full season this season, so I was talking about earlier, if a few of these guys come back, we're going to have a heck of a championship battle next season. Do you happen to know yet? Are you planning to be back when this series returns for a third season?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really know what the plans are yet. But I can tell you it's been fun, and it just kind of depends on what the group does. Racing competitively is one thing, but man, I'm just here for fun. It's good just to hang out with your buddies and race,
Well, it's been a lot of fun for me to watch as well, and to get to see you guys battle every week. It's a lot of fun. I talked about it earlier. Before we let you go, and kind of enjoy the season-ending third-place finish, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to the OP League for bringing me in again mid-season. Appreciate that. It's been a pleasure to race with them for the past 7-8 races, whatever it's been. Misfit Motorsports, thanks to everyone over there. Like I said, it's just awesome running with these guys every week, having a lot of laughs and just a lot of fun in the evenings. And shout out to you for putting on a great broadcast. Everyone loves watching it. Family, friends love watching it. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that. We appreciate you talking to us here for a second. Congratulations on the third place effort. And we will hopefully talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dawson.
Rusty Modesty, your third place finisher tonight, moves to the man who finished in second in both the race and in the championship. And that is Matt Hayden in the 6. What a season it was for him. We'll get his thoughts on his season, his night tonight, and where he looks to go from here. Hey, Matt, it's Dawson in the booth. You get a copy?
Dawson, how you doing, buddy?
Well, not too bad. Tonight, a battle for you. Second in the race. I know second in the championship is not what you want to hear, but nonetheless, a great season for you this season. I gave Rusty a chance to reflect on his season. I'm going to give you the same chance. Take a second, reflect on what an incredible season it was for you here in Season 2 of the Throwback Series.
No, I'm happy with it. I'm proud of how the season went. I think we racked up a ton of top 5s. That was an upgrade from last season. So yeah, I mean, you get someone in like Christian in, he's just elite level driver, and we had a couple of battles at a couple of different tracks and stuff like that, but mile and a half stuff like this, he's just he's another level from the rest of us. So, but it's good competition, and we had a lot of fun races this year. Um, God, I still look back at that late run at Bristol we had. That was, I remember with your broadcast, we showed that to a bunch of people. That was some wild racing towards the end, stuff like that. So we had several battles like that. Brought Rusty over to run some, and he ran well towards the end of it. So we're happy with everything, man. I'll take second place in a season like this where we had so much fun running with each other. So proud of all the group in here. I think we were just talking in the channel below, 0 X's across the board. I mean, we had a lighter field here and we're kind of spread out, but to run 130 something laps and not a single incident point, a lot of respect between these guys. So really proud of everything.
Well, absolutely. And now we'll look forward a bit. I asked Rusty this. I'll ask you the same thing. It's kind of a two-parter. Number one, can we expect to see you back next season? We know there will be another season of this series, so can we expect to see you back? And if we do, what can we expect out of you next season?
Yeah, I really, I'd plan on being back. Everything stays the same, and some other commitment stuff doesn't change. We're having a lot of fun in the Gen 4s. We ran, Next Gen Cup Series that we run on Tuesday nights, and was not happy the entire race. Those things are a handful. I just feel, the entire time I was like, if we had a Gen 4 on this track, this would have been a lot more fun. So, yeah, no, I enjoy it. I'm planning on being back. I hope a lot of these guys, I hope to see the same cars on the track, same people, and we'll go through a recruitment session and bring on some more people, try to get the field back filled up, and try to go from there, and hopefully just stay consistent. Probably try to close out a few more races. I feel like we had a couple of chances to get a couple more wins on the board. So, but all in all, yeah, just real happy how everything went.
It was a lot of fun to watch. We can't wait to see what happens in the next season. Before we let you go, we'll give you a second here for the last time this season. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, everybody, Misfit Motorsports, Rusty for coming on and running this with us, Jimmy Fitzmaurice, awesome. He's been here for both seasons and run with me. Really proud of him and season he had. Want to thank these guys at OP for putting this on, giving us a spot to run these things and run the dog crap out of each other in the corners. It's been a lot of fun. And Dawson, man, I say this to everybody. You're my favorite iRacing broadcaster. You do an amazing job. And, man, I really hope they get you to continue this. If not, run something and something else you do, man. I really appreciate having you around.
Well, I appreciate that and appreciate you talking to me here for a second as we end off this season. It's a second-place finish for you, a really great year, built on a lot of things. Can't wait to see what you do next. Thanks for talking to me. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate, and we will talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
That is Matt Hayden in the 6. And we're going to do something a little unorthodox now. We're going to bring in two guys at once. This is going to be kind of weird, so just bear with us as we try to do this. These two do happen to be teammates, so it does kind of work out. But we'll bring them in. We kind of get to reflect with both of them. We'll actually start. We're going to start with Hunter Carlson, and then we'll move to Christian Strader. But both guys in the championship fight, so I wanted to get some reflection from both of them. I think it's only fair. So we'll bring them one at a time. And again, this is kind of unorthodox, so just go with me here as we figure this out. All right, we're going to try this out. We got two guys up here with us. They do happen to be teammates. I want to get reflections from both of them. We got our champion, Christian Strader. We'll get to him in a minute. But I want to start with the man in the 2 car, Hunter Carlson. Hunter, a 4th-place finish tonight. You got me up here in the booth.
Gotcha.
Well, I did want to get both of you guys up here. I think it's only fair. Look, you guys shared a great championship battle. You guys and Matt and Isaiah Dupree. So take a second. I let the other two reflect. Go ahead and reflect on your season. What was a very consistent season that also saw you get your first win?
Yeah, it was a very consistent season, like you said. My goal this whole season was try to get as many top 10s, top 5s as possible and see what would happen about halfway through the season. and I saw myself in the lead a few times going back and forth. I'm like, maybe I can do this. And of course, with the help of Christian and everything, he helped me find pace, and in the end, it didn't end up happening. But I had the most fun I've ever had on the sim in this league, and yeah.
Well, it was very fun to watch, and it was fun to kind of watch you be at the top of the point standings, despite the fact that, again, you kind of went the Matt Crafton route, went without a win until Martinsville. So I asked these guys before you the same question. I'll ask you again. First off, can we expect to see you back next season? And second off, if we do, what can we expect out of the 2-car next season?
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely be back. And I think you should expect me up front again, and hopefully a few more wins, at least. But I'm thinking 2 wins next season, if possible.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. For one last time this season, it's a 4th-place finish, a strong run to your season-ending effort here tonight. So before you move on to your teammate here, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, first off, I want to thank Christian being a great teammate this whole season. He helped we push each other, and one of us ended up winning championship, which is great. And I want to thank TJ for spotting me this season, and also his graphics design, Studio 86. He's coming on board next season. I had him on the quarter panel today. Can't wait for that partnership to come on next season.
Well, it'll be so fun to watch. Thanks so much for talking to us. We'll move to your teammate now, and it's the man of the hour. It's the man in championship victory lane. After a season full of ups and downs, at the end of the day, an OP Series champion for the first time, and that is Christian Schrader. Christian, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy.
Yeah, how you doing, Dawson?
Well, not too bad. Look, this is the moment. We knew one of you 4 was going to come out of here as a champion, and you led almost every lap. It was a near flawless effort tonight, and that was kind of the story of the season. The wins were mostly flawless, winning Pocono from the pole, and winning a couple of other times throughout the season as well. First and foremost, you're now an OP Series champion. That carries a lot of weight. So obviously, I got to ask, how does it feel to be the champion of this series?
It feels awesome. It feels awesome. There's a lot of good guys that race in this series, and a lot of clean guys. That really makes hard because, if you make a little mistake, pretty much go to the back. I mean, you're looking at green flag racing. It gets really tough, and it means a lot to be the champion of the season for this year.
All right, well, I got to ask, a lot of great moments this season. Do you have a favorite moment from your championship run this season?
I'm not really sure. There's been a lot of tough fought races. Maybe last week at Phoenix. That was a lot of fun racing at Phoenix last week. Track that I really struggled with, and then to run really good there, and race Travis really hard at the end of it. It was really enjoyable. To go ahead and do that. And then also just racing along with Matt and Hunter and Isaiah throughout the year. Those guys are awesome. They do a really good job, and they show a lot of respect and really race everybody kind of clean, and it makes for a lot of fun.
Well, certainly a lot of fun to watch. Well, I'll ask you the same question I've asked these other 3 guys. Number 1, can we expect you back to defend your championship next season? And number 2, what can we expect out of the championship defense?
I definitely will be back next year. This is an awesome league. Broadcast, Alex, Cody, all the drivers in the field. It's probably one of the most fun that I've had. So I will definitely be back. And then hopefully more of the same. Hopefully we'll win some races. Hopefully end up defending it. I'd like to try to clean up a few mistakes on pit road that I had early in the year. So hopefully we can get some of that stuff done and get some more wins and hopefully defend the championship.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it as we get ready to start gearing up for the next season. Before we let you go, championship victory lane tonight. It's a big moment. So before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
I'd like to thank Alex and Cody first because they put together a great league. They do a really good job running it. I'd like to thank you guys as well. The broadcasts have been great. They're a lot of fun to watch back. You guys do a good job. And then, of course, Hunter, TJ, those guys have been with me, helping me out, get a little bit better, kind of keep me on my A game and make sure that I don't get too frustrated in the car at times. So those guys are awesome. So I'd like to say thank you to them.
Well, thanks for talking to us, guys. Congratulations on a great season for both of you. Christian, congratulations on being the Season 2 OP Racing Throwback Series Championship. Y'all go enjoy it. Go celebrate a little bit. Hopefully we're talking to y'all soon.
Yeah, see you later, Dawson.
Thank you, Dawson.
Hunter Carlson, Christian Strader, the champion and third-place finisher in the points tonight from Homestead-Miami Speedway. That wraps up our post-race show, our post-race coverage from tonight's race. What a race it was. What a season it was. And again, so grateful to get to call this series, to get to cover these drivers. They're all so talented, and you guys, you could hear, they all push each other to be better. They all push the competition. That certainly was the case this season. Again, I can't say enough about the season it was. Thank you so much to the admins at OP, especially Alex, who kind of oversees Thursday nights, and thanks to him for letting me come out here and having some leeway with me in a tough scheduling season, but nonetheless for allowing me to still be here, allowing me to ramble about this series for a few hours every Thursday. It's been a great honor to get to continue on this series, get to continue on my work here with the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's been a lot of fun, and I certainly hope that you all have enjoyed as well. Thanks to the drivers for an incredible season full of great moments. So we'll be watching back for a very long time. It's going to be a lot of fun to go back and kind of recap this season and kind of go back and see what all happened. That's going to be a very enjoyable time as well. Congratulations again to Christian Strader. I mean, what an incredible season. You can't say enough about the effort that he put in this season, ups and downs along the way, but in the end, he dominates at Homestead and he wins the championship. And man, what an ending to the season it was. Be on the lookout for Season 3 information and streams coming up. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe to Turn 3 Racing Network. You heard it. You heard them say if you're back, if they bring you back, I'm coming back as far as I know. I'd love to be here. I want to keep doing this, so I would love to keep coming back and keep calling this series. It's so much fun, and it's one of my favorite series that I get to call each and every week. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on this channel as we get ready to potentially launch, or not potentially launch, as we get ready to get into Season 3. We get ready for all the changes coming up. I can't wait to be back with you here very soon. My name is Dawson Wise. You've been watching the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thanks so much for coming out and watching this